So, hello everyone. Welcome to yet another podcast. And today we are going to talk some exciting topics about embedded OS and the world of embedded technologies and how we have Toradex helping us and how Torizon OS is playing a major role in different parts of embedded systems. And I have the best person to talk about it, and I have Daniel Lang today from Toradex, who's the Chief Marketing Officer. And this is going to be an exciting conversation where we are going to talk about the technology, how this is helping us with our day-to-day embedded risks that we are facing, and how we can start on day one. And also there are exciting giveaways which we want to talk about in the last. And this is not just one of the episodes, but it's going to be a series. And stay tuned for exciting conversations. And let's go to the guest. Daniel, welcome to our podcast series of embedded OS and how Torizon helps here. So could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having me. Yeah, as I said, my name is Daniel. I have a background in electrical engineering. I did a lot of software development on drivers and all of that before I moved to the dark side. And now, as you said, I'm leading the marketing and I'm the executive lead also for Torizon. Most of my career I was in Seattle in the US for 15 years, but I'm now back here in Switzerland. And as you can hear, my accent is definitely from here, and I'm here in our headquarters close to Lucerne.
Yeah, sounds great. So Torizon, I think it's becoming more and more a familiar keyword, and everybody are talking about it. So for some viewers who are new to this, so could you please explain us what is Toradex, what is Torizon? Can you clear us about what is Torizon and how Toradex helps with Torizon?
Yeah. So Torizon is a suite of tools which makes the development but also the maintenance of embedded Linux product much easier. So the main components are Torizon OS, that's a Yocto-based Linux distribution, and we are really contributing to Yocto. So if you're familiar with Yocto, that will be very nice. But also if you don't want to worry about Yocto, just setting on top, that's a good starting point. And then we have Torizon Cloud. That's where you can manage over-the-air update, where you can monitor the reliability, the wear, the temperature, all of that of the device. And you also have a very secure over-the-air, remote access capabilities. And then we have other tools to customize it, integration with Visual Studio, so that it can accelerate your development. And this was all developed from ground out with a lot of security in mind. So there was always our security first mind. And now with the CRA and the changing cybersecurity environment, that makes a product very, very good if you have to comply with CRA or with medical security, and it simplifies that for you heavily.
Yeah, sounds great. So whenever I see about Toradex, search about Torizon OS, the one thing that I see it's secure by design. And also, as to give some background about BE.services, I think we have been working closely with Torizon for the past 7 years, and we have customers who really rely on Torizon just because of this one word is secure by design, and how easy it is to deploy and manage a fleet, and also these over-the-air updates. So this is a very, very interesting topic for our customers. And also whenever we talk with them or when we are helping them to onboard with Torizon, they are very much excited with these over-the-air updates and maintaining the patches. So how it is related to CRA? Could you please give us some overview on that?
Yeah, so the EU Cyber Resilient Act is a new regulation which comes in effect fully in force in 2027. But with the typical developer cycles in our industry, people need to worry about that. And the CRA hits almost all of our customers. So if you're in industrial automation, if you're in industrial transportation, even like coffee machines, if you do like diagnostic devices, it basically hits everybody, like a lot of smart city thing. And what it makes, a lot of stuff which was before best practice, right? Security best practices are now a requirement. If you do not comply, it's very, very expensive. You will not be able to sell in the EU, and the penalties are, 15 million or 2.5% of your annual turnover. So it's very, very painful.
We heard from one of the presentations that from Toradex experts that it's a multi-trillion dollar expense that the world faces due to cyber attacks. So when we are talking about cyber attacks, more than the money involved, so I also heard you saying that Toradex is being used in the medical environments. So how serious is that if there is an attack happening? So can you give us some overview on that?
Yeah. So for the CRA, medical is actually excluded for the reason that there are already other regulation which already hit in medical. But of course, currently some of our medical customer, one I know very well, they do infusion pump. They could not ship anymore because the IT service from the hospital would not allow them if they cannot show how they timely patch and update their pumps. And that's really a change in mindset. Before we would do a medical or anywhere else where functional safety was required, you would test the device very well, and you would ship it, and you will never change anything. You will not touch the software again because you would have to recertify. Now there is almost 180-degree change that you now have to update because Linux-based devices with security vulnerability can also not be safe. So you have to patch that, and the FDA and other regulation, they have now special processes how you can do updates without a complete recertification. And that's somewhere where we see already quite some adoption from Torizon in this field.
Yeah, this sounds great when I can, if I, for example, I'm a user of Torizon and I'm not an expert in Linux, but still I can understand that I can offload all this into the Torizon OS and I need not worry. So can I say that this is a well-around wrapper around Linux and how people can use it for deployments? Can I put it in this way? What is your comment about this explanation about this?
Yeah, so there is maybe good to know how we originally started Torizon. So we were very strong on Windows CE, and in Windows CE you get the operating system. It's very similar experience than any other Windows. You just focus on your app, whatever .NET, Python, whatever you did. But now, of course, that goes end of life, and we need to move people to Linux. And Linux, we are a big fan of the Yocto project, but it's a very big learning curve. And if you come from the Linux or Android world, and the first thing we tell you, you have to build your own Linux distribution, you have to maintain it, you have to keep it secure. That's a really big ask. So what we build a distribution with the Yocto project, but Toradex maintains it for our typical applications where we are strong, where for mission critical stuff, there is a lot of safety and reliability is important. So if you have one of these applications, now your experience is much more closer to maybe a Windows one. You don't need to worry about the OS. You can focus on your application, on your UI, on your PLC kind of application, things like that. And the OS we take care of, and you have a lot of peace of mind there.
Yeah, so I'm more like, so even to explain a quick background about me, I used to be a research engineer, and from there moving to marketing. Now I'm more like a vibe coder, and I don't want, when I want to design a browser application, I'm fine with that. But when I'm want to create something that is real time and that is mission critical, so I think when I'm going to use Torizon and the OS that is already taken care of all the security risks, the real-time behavior, and all this is taken care. So even for a person like me, the entry barrier is simple. So I am really motivated to start something where I can also contribute to a team where they are more technical. So I think this wrapping around the complexity and helping our customers to focus on their value delivery is a great thing, is what I see it from the interactions with my customer, because they are totally offloading their risk about managing the patches, how am I updated to the Yocto project, or what happens when I have to do a cloud deployment. So all these are totally away from from their regular day-to-day work, because Torizon takes care of it. But the initial work is where I am really not sure because can you explain me like how can I start with Torizon? So what are my initial first one, two, three steps, and how can I do this?
Yeah. Yeah, so there is, I would say, two ways. So one very easy way is our Torizon connector. It's
Mm-hmm.
a fairly new feature. And if you have, for example, a Ubuntu or a Debian system, you can just install that. It's a one-line installation. Probably we can link it here later. You install it, and then you get access to the Torizon cloud. You can do remote access, device monitoring, application update. So you actually leave the Torizon OS away if you just have a Debian or a Ubuntu around. But if you want to have the full experience, the full security, everything integrated, then you can start with Torizon, and that's very well integrated on quite some platforms. Of course, on Toradex platforms, but we also work with TI. So almost all newer TI development boards are already supported or will be supported. There is support for ST, and Toradex doesn't carry ST, so Torizon is also used on non-Toradex hardware, or you can have it on ST. There is Torizon Common, our community-supported one, you can get for x86. And there is also for NXP Freedom Board. You will also have for the IMX 93 Freedom Board, there is a Torizon there. You can just install and get started. And that's the easiest way to just pick a platform which is already supported or use a Torizon connector.
Yeah, so this sounds interesting. So you have a community version where people can start and evaluate, and once they want to have the real features and they want to have a premium treatment, so they can move from the community to the Torizon. So how does the transition looks like to you? So can you give us a customer use case, like how do they start with the community and how they migrate towards these premium models?
Okay. Yeah, so maybe important to understand Torizon OS is really free. It's fully open source, it's free. We have other
Okay.
people contributing on it. You can port it to any platform basically that can run Linux. You probably can run Torizon OS on, and it's completely free and you can use it. What Toradex then provides for Toradex hardware is the same OS, but heavily quality controlled, right? We have big
Okay.
test fleets actually not far from here.
Okay.
We test nightly, we do monthlies, we do quarterlies. We test that, we are very fast with patching. There's of course free support included and all of that, right? So if you use Toradex hardware, that's just included. If you have your own hardware and you would love to have the same quality control and the same support and the same help, or maybe integrating special peripheral, we can provide that. Or you can even go to BE.service, as
Mhm.
BE.services can support our customers which need this special service. So you can use the free version, and then if you don't want to do the adjustment, if you want to have like the premium support, you can also work with our partners like BE.services. Right?
Yeah,
And
this
that's
sounds great. So
yeah.
for us to start, for anybody to start and get a feel of it, can they also start something like as small as Raspberry Pi? Do you think it is possible?
Yeah, of course, it's possible. So we have a community version for the Raspberry Pis, and I think that there is there will be soon news more around that. But there are some community versions you can try on the Raspberry Pi, and the Raspberry Pi is more than enough powerful to run that, and yeah, so that's a way you
Yeah,
can get
so
started.
this sounds really great. And now I want the next question. So, I'm a marketing guy, but you have a more technical background on Torizon. I think for somebody like me to start with, I have a Raspberry Pi on my table. So, do you think are there some guides or some tutorials or somewhere I can learn and do this right away? Even I think there will be a lot of viewers who also wants to start something like this, so that they get the feel on Raspberry Pi and they want to put it in their production system. So where can I start here?
Yeah. So if you really, really want to start, the fastest was, and I talked about 2 minutes, is
Mhm.
really install our Torizon connector. Go on our page, look for a Ubuntu or a Raspberry Pi, and it will guide you to the connector. Is copy paste command. It will install this connector, and you will be connected to the cloud. And I think that's a very good starting point. You can get a feel what you want to go. If you're more interested on the OS and you want to do more on the OS side, Then we have Torizon Common, so it's on GitHub, it's open source. You can get there started. We also have a community, right? So you can post on our community. There's a lot of people which help us, our engineer, but also other people. I mean, it's on GitHub, so you can post issues and do pull requests. So you can also contribute if you're interested in that too.
Yeah, that sounds cool. So, is there any courses that you have? Like, so instead of me going and searching, AI made me a bit lazy, but is there something where I can go to one place and start learning? Is there something that is already put in place where our viewers can start it right away?
Yeah, so first maybe a comment on the AI. So actually the community I mentioned, there is a bot in it and it will help you, right? So, and
Ah,
it knows a
okay.
lot about Horizon on our hardware. So we also have a bot helping you. At the moment it's still beta, so there will always be one of our engineers reviewing that and telling you in case it's not very good or, complete the answer for you. But with AI, you're also very good. And what I also like to point out, and I play myself, we have an API for the Torizon Cloud, which has a very nice description. And if you feed the documentation to your preferred, AI bot, even with vibe coding, you can do within an hour. You can have your own custom dashboard,
Okay.
custom way to do things. So if you're like, I don't know, an AI first, right, or you like to play around and you want to have a proof of concept, this is actually a very good way to get started, and I would encourage that. And we probably will also put maybe some content up, some video to give you some ideas how to get started.
Yeah, so nice. So also one more thing that I personally learned is also whenever I have a new teammate who wants to start with Torizon is we provide with them the Udemy course. So what do you think about the Udemy course? Is there some? Can you make some introduction about that? How does it work, and how do you do that?
Yeah. So very good point, right? I was just coming to that. So we also launched a Udemy course with Sergio Prado. Sergio Prado is a trainer. That's his job. So it's a very high quality. You even can have office hours with him. So he's an embedded Linux trainer who did that course. And that course really steps you through how to get started with embedded Linux. And he uses Torizon to show you one way how to make it easier, but you get also a lot of deep dive in how Torizon works, how embedded Linux works, on the example of Torizon, and then also how you get into application development and how you can keep the system up to date. So it's an embedded Udemy course. It's called Embedded Linux Made Easy, presented by Torizon. You can find that.
Yeah,
And I
that
think
sounds great. And I think I already asked you to do us a favor. So can you give some kind of a discount or something for the viewers who are watching this?
Yeah. For people who are watching this, we can give away 20 courses for free. So there will be 20 coupons you can get, and I will need you,
Yeah,
talk
sure.
about how that's organized. But we are very happy to sponsor that. And of course, we're also very happy about feedback, how you like it, what's maybe the next course. But very happy to give here away 20
Yeah, sure.
courses.
So how do you get it is just comment, share. So I will reach you out to your DM, and I will make sure that this coupon code reaches you, and it's also for the first 20 people. So please do hurry and come and share so that I can come in and I can put this the coupon code that's shared by Daniel to you. And great, Daniel. So now we spoke about how people can start with something with Torizon on a very simple hardware, as simple as Raspberry Pi. And then they come into, once they get the feel, they can also start with some hardware that is already supported by Torodex. But if they want something specific, and that's where your partners come into play, and that's where we also have our customers. And from BE.services, we do this to a lot of customers, and we have many success stories where they have used Torizon OS specific to their hardware, and then we tweak it to make sure that it is real time and has all the features that they want to do. So, to give a clear context to the viewers here, what are the top three applications that you think is where your customers are finding value out of Torizon OS?
Yeah, I mean, we see it really used in almost all the verticals and all the application. Toradex is active. Of course, you see it a lot in connected devices. So we have a lot of gateway kind of applications. So bigger customers are in transportation, where it's around trains and buses. That there are gateways. We have gateways in industrial automation context, and they're connected. So that of course makes them very a very good target, and all these customers want to focus on their application. Another gateway is Splunk. That's something we can talk about. We also have a success video there, so you can see how they used it, how they use that. And mostly is they're very good with AI, they're very good with data processing, but they're not embedded Linux people. So what we did for them is really we take care of the embedded Linux layer, they can focus on the application, we take care of the OS, keeping it up to date, keeping it secure, and they can really shine where they're very good.
Yeah.
Other application I really like, it's neurorobotics we have in Germany. You maybe
Yeah.
know them doing very well. That's also one of our customers I'm allowed to talk about. And there is interesting. They started with x86 system, and then they're going to move to ARM things. So they really started with an x86 solution, and they can roll out that different while they bring the ARM system up to date. Also there, of course, they're very good with machine learning, very good with robotics, but the embedded Linux, the secure over-the-air update, we can take care.
Yeah, so
But
Daniel, when you talk about Neura, I can't just stop you interrupting because this is a great success story between both of us. You guys contacted them for all the robotic purpose and all their operating system needs. It was done, and from there we got the inquiry about how we can have OPCOA FX TSN making the robot work like the communication part. So this is where BE stepped in, and since BE had this know-how of Toradex, it was like a cakewalk for us to go in and start the helping right away because we are experts in both the topics, and I think this trio worked out really well, and it's a great success story for us. And I think Neura Robot is doing really great in the German robotics market, and I think there won't be one company who does not know about Neura's success story. And then even whatever we hear from them is the updates. So robotics is a growing topic, and also ML and AI is not something that you deploy once and you go and make an update 2 years later, right? So these are some things where the cycle time is very, very fast. And this industry, what we are working on, which I knew in the past, even talk to me 2 years before, I would never believe that I need to make updates every 3 months or every 2 months, because now it becomes totally dependent on how fast we make these rollouts. So industrial automation being a conservative market, but now it is being pushed to something like your cell phone apps that we are doing. So for this, the security becomes a great cornerstone where people are very much concerned about how this is done. But I think with Torizon OS, this is totally wrapped around and with it's taken care in a properly tested way. So as you are saying, how are these security mechanisms maintained internally? Do you have experts, or how this is done, and how much is important for you? The word security, how is it important for Toradex?
yeah, it's very, very important, and the technology stack or the technology behind it's from the Update project, which is based on TUF, the Update framework, and it comes from the automotive industry, and it's very secure. And when we started Torizon a couple of years ago, people were almost thinking we were going overkill, right? It's too much security, and people didn't, worry so much about security at that time. However, where our use cases are, they're normally typical mission critical, right? A robot in a manufacturing line or 10,000 gateways, they're very, the security is very, very important. So we think it's a very good fit. And also now for this customer, it's not just for customers who are, for them security is important. Now with the changing regulation, it's a must. So now, because we started that, we are a very, very good solution for people who have to comply with CRA and other ones. And you can find other update solutions, and they maybe tick one box for the CRA and you can do update. But there are much, much more requirements how secure it needs to be, because you don't want to have your update system being the main attack vector. And how you two need to sign, and there is secure boot and all of that. So we really integrate and can provide a full stack. So many of the CRA requirements is just ticked. It
Super.
goes even further that we also do the vulnerability management for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one requirement from the CRA is that you have SBOM and that you check for known vulnerabilities. So
Yeah.
we do that for you. And then our security team is reviewing each CVE and charges what's the typical impact for our customer. We have a standard threat model, and we will tell you, don't worry, this is actually not exploitable in our systems because XYZ, or hey, this is something serious, you have to do XYZ, or this is serious, if you do not use secure boot, if you're secure boot, you're safe. Right? So we kind of translate the CVs into something our typical customer, which are not always security experts, can understand and have a way how they can take action on them.
Yeah, sounds really great. So also we are when I talk about security, I have many other questions too. But I think with my knowledge, I think I cannot go deep into it. So I am also I would also like to involve more people from BE.services who would like to go deep dive into it. So as we already planned, this is going to be a series. So can you give us insights about what are the other topics that our viewers would can expect? What are the deep dive topics? I think security is one thing that people really want to know, and then also this is the most requested topic recently for BE.services. So, what are the other topics that do you think would be great for this series?
Yeah. I think, yeah, as you said, security, there's a lot of different angles from threat modeling, from compliance, from cloud connected to non-connected devices to secure boot, physical security, all of that. And then the other thing, I think you also hit on it, is like we call ML ops, how to update machine learning, like the edge AI, how to do really frequent update of this model. And for example, in Torizon, we have a feature called subsystem updates where you can pull that in. And then also in the same kind of angle, it's other systems you have. Embedded systems we see normally are quite complex. They have other microcontrollers, they have maybe cameras, modems with firmware, and with the CRA you need to keep the whole system up to date, right? So how can you update that? How can you make sure that the modem firmware is nicely collaborating with the right OS version, and how to make sure these versions stay in sync? This is all covered by Torizon, but I think this will be a deep dive.
Yeah.
Other topic, I think you also mentioned real time, right? And how you
Exactly.
run a PLC, how you do industrial communication, OPC, UI, all of that, and how we collaborate, right? How you would add this feature, how you would maybe
Exactly.
engage partners like BE.services. I think that could be other very interesting topic, down the road here.
Yeah, it looks like we already have like 4 to 5 topics in picture, and I would also like to get it from the viewers. Like, what do you want to hear from us? What do you want to talk? Please do comment and also share my. I know I get a lot of feedback up from my DMs. Please feel free to suggest us what topics you want to see next. So we will come up with a lot of experts from BE.services and Toradex talking about how we are delivering value to our customers and how easy it is to start with Torizon. So it's more not like a sales or a marketing presentation. We are trying to give away the knowledge that we have gained so far working along with Toradex, and it's not something that you need to pay for when you start. So we have the free model, and obviously the freemium does not works always. So if you want to take it to your mission critical systems, for sure you need help and a premium model, and that's where we are here to help you out to in this transformation journey from just a vanilla Linux from the your Octo project, Yocto project, but you're transitioning to a well-tested deployment model where all your security risk and all the complexity is wrapped around, and we are here to help you out. So we are nearing to the end of the podcast. So Daniel, how do you feel about this, and what do you think? Okay, so can you give us some final words?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pleasure to do that, right? The first time we do that. I also really like to highlight, that we know that Torex and BE.services know each other for a very, very long time, more than 10 years. We have a lot of projects, a lot of deployed devices out there, and it always worked very well. And I'm also happy here that we now can collaborate on this side and not always just directly with the customer. So yeah, it was a pleasure to talk to you. And I also would be interested what the audience here, how we should do
Yep.
that, if you should go more technical, more use cases. So yeah, let us know, and I'm happy to be part of that.
Yeah, you were great, Daniel, and I think you are a natural podcaster. It went really, really well, and I had a lot of information that I got it from you, and it was great talking to you. And I hope this has been an interesting, informative session. So please do come and share to get these the giveaways that Daniel has prepared for us. And thank you so much, Daniel. And I'm looking forward for more such interesting sessions from different people and talking about how we are going to make people's lives easy, and how we are going to make embedded more secure, and how we are going to touch base on the CRA topics and how easy it is to go forward. And also there is going to be more demonstrations. It's not just going to be just talking. We are going to see how we really helped with demonstrations and how we really helped with POCs and project deployments. And we are going to talk about more such interesting topics. And we have SPS around the corner, and you can come and meet us at SPS, talk really about how we have made this happen to our customers. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will meet soon with another interesting episode from this series.